Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Let me introduce myself. My name is Puja Wahyuni with my name 2003528. This time I will explain about valence electron in course learning media with lectures are the first Miss Kutpatni SPDMA. The second is Miss Faiza Kurata Aini SPDM PDM. For the first, I will tell you about media components. They have 4 points. The first is KD or IPK. The second is learning objective. The third is materials. And the last is evaluation. KD or IPK, there is KD 3.3. Explain the electron configuration and the pattern of outer electron configuration for each group in the periodic table. For IPK 3.3.3, they are explain the pattern of electron configuration and relationship valency electron to the positions of the elements in the periodic table. Next is learning objective. Students are expected to be able to explain and determine the electron configuration and relationship of valency electrons with the location of any element in the periodic table correctly. The chair I will explain about materials where I have 5 points in the materials. The first is definition of electron configuration. The second is step for writing electron configurations. The third is simplification of electron configuration. And the last is definition of valency electrons, where they have 2 points. The first group of periodic table and the second is period of periodic table. I will begin to explain about definition of electrons configuration. The way of writing that shows the distribution of electrons is called electron configuration. Electron configuration describes the arrangement of electrons in an atom. The electron configuration in the orbitals of an atom is very important because the electron configuration affects the chemical properties of an element. In writing the electron configuration, it is necessary to consider 3 rules or principles, namely the Afro principle, the Pauli prohibition principle, and the Hahn rule. Here, we look animated that describe the atom, where in the core there are protons. They are protons that have positive symbol, and the green, this is neutrons, and thus remove is called electrons that are given negative symbol. And the line blue is the orbital for electrons. Okay, next I will tell you about step for writing electron configuration. The following steps are steps that have been concluded from the rule the Afbo principle, the Pauli prohibition principle, and the Hahn rule. The first step, we determine the number of electrons in the atom, the number of electrons of an element, atom is equal to the atomic number of that element. The second step, we write the type of subshell needed in order based on the following orbital diagram. The sequence are first S, second S, second P, third S, third P, 4S, third D, 4P, 5S, 4D, 5P, 6S, 4F, 5D, 6P, 7S, 5F, 6P, 7P, and 8S. And the last step for writing electron configuration, revealing electrons in each subshell by paying attention to the maximum number of electrons. Then the remaining electrons are included in the next subshell. As an example of filling the electron configuration, we can see the picture. They are 4 second HE sama dengan first S quadrat. And the next we can see in this picture to all. Okay, the next I will explain about simplification of electron configuration. The electron configuration of the noble gases can be used to abbreviate the electron configuration of atoms that have a large number of electrons or atomic number. The electron configuration of the noble gases is as follows. 2He, the equal is 7. There is first S quadrat. And 10 Ne equal 1S quadrat, 2S quadrat, 2P6. And the next we can see in this picture. Next, I will explain about definition of valence electron. Valence electrons indicate the number of electrons in the outermost shell, and the number of the maximum number of valence electrons is 8. The electrons in the outermost shell of an atom or electron valence plays an important role in the chemical reactions and determine chemical properties of the elements. The relationship between electron configuration and the periodic table of element is the location of an element in the periodic table of elements can be determined by electron configuration through its valence electrons. Next, I'll tell you group of periodic table. Group is an column of elements in the periodic table of chemical elements. According to the Ipk system, there are 18 groups. Elements that have the same number of valence electrons are arranged in a vertical column called a group. Elements in the same group tend to have similar chemical properties. In general, groups are divided into main groups and transition groups. The trivial names for the main groups can be seen as follows. The group of periodic table we can see in this picture. The example in the golongan 1A itu ada namanya alkali, golongan 2A ada namanya alkali tanah. So, and the next we can see in the picture this time. Okay, the materials, I will explain period of periodic table. Period is a row of elements in the periodic table. They are 7 periods. Elements with the same number of shells are arranged in one period. To determine the period of an element, we look at the number of shells it has, or the value of the principal quantum number, or n, of the outermost electron. In this picture, we can see about the orbital of electrons. We can see in the first shell, the namely K equal to electrons maximal. In the second shell equal 8 electron maximal, and the third shell equal 18 electrons maximal, and the outer shell they have 8 electrons. The last I will explain about evaluation, but in this I will try to answer this equation. The first equation we can see in the slide. An element is in period 5 and group 5a. How many electrons are 3 in the atoms of this element? We can see for answer, and I will choose one, and I will see there is correct or false. We can see the answer of A are false. Okay, we next to answer to choose option B. Okay, this is false too. We can choose C. Okay, this is the answer correctly. Now, we will next equation, the second equation. But before the second equation, we can see the solution for the first question. Group 5a electrons in the outermost shell, or valence electron equal 5. Valence electron equal 2 plus 3 equal 5, or electrons in s and p orbitals. Period 5 shows the valence electrons are in the 5 shell. Next, determine the electron configuration. They are first S2, second S2, second P6, third S2, third P6, 4 S2, 3D10, 4P6, 5S2, 4D10, and 5P3. So the number of electrons equal 51. Okay, next the second equation. The elements in groups 14 and period 3 are we can see have 4 choice to option. We can try answer the choice option B. We can say this is a false answer. Okay, we next transfer the choice option C. Okay, this is the first two. And the next we can see the option D. Yes, this is the correctly answer for second questions. Okay, that's all for me. Before I say thank you for to watch my video, and I say sorry if I was wrong in my word. Okay, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.